there, Wren here, and I'm coming to you today with a chair yoga warm-up for seniors for Yin Yoga. So I had a request for this a while back, and I've really been wanting to do this. I teach a weekly chair yoga class, and I use these things a lot with that class. So starting seated, rock a little left and right, just to feel the sit bones, and then settle in. Shoulders go down the back, arms can just rest at the sides. Sometimes your chairs in these classes will have arms, so you kind of just have to work with what you have. Shoulders go down. If they have a chair like this, they can kind of hold on to help them sit up tall. And then have the feet roughly under the knees. And start really bringing in some breath awareness. Noticing the breath in as the ribs expand and the lungs fill with air. And breath out. So some of my seniors like to breathe out through their mouth. This is really good, especially for Parkinson's. So be sure to offer that and let them know that's okay. So just breathing in and out here. So in Yin Yoga, we're looking at stimulating some tissue around the joints. So I'll show you my favorite ways to do that in terms of joint loosening. It's a little bit different from regular Yin Yoga, but I think you'll get it. So then I'll have them press the hands forward, breathing in and out. Tip the hands down, and then up again. Exhale, hands down. And then I'll have them just reach, like they're going to reach forward and take someone's hands. Breathe in, breathe out. So much breath awareness here, so important. And then have them pretend someone is pulling just their arms forward, like pulling the shoulder head out of the socket and bringing it back. This takes a while for them to get the hang of, but they really can. It's really, really helpful. So shoulder, the head comes out and goes back. Exhale. This time, hold it here, breathing in and out. And I just let them close their eyes as much as they want to. And then the exhale brings the hands back. Arms come up, inhale, exhale here. And have them really feel the muscle behind the shoulder blades. And again, this is a little bit different from traditional Yin Yoga. But what we want to do is get them used to moving the upper body in a way they don't normally. Mainly to free up all of this area up here to be able to breathe better, okay? So a thing I tell them a lot is, if you're doing this with me, you can take a break. A thing I tell them so often is that they don't realize, and they've never been really told before, is that their organs function based on how oxygenated the blood is. And the way they get more oxygen to their blood is by breathing deeper. So this is really, once they can grasp that, it was really helpful, and it really makes them want to come to class, especially my Parkinson's students, because they know the brain is an organ. So I do that one, and then I'll have them bring the feet a little wider apart, breathe in, and then breathe out, come onto one elbow and then the other elbow. Then I'll kind of let them rock side to side a little. And then from here, if it feels okay, rest the head down. Keep in mind that you want to know if people have osteoporosis or osteopenia, because that will definitely inform how long you keep them in something and what you offer. But this can be a gentle rounding for the thoracic. And some of my students like to go ahead and reach down toward the floor, and some of them can, and I will have them do that, or I can have blocks or something here. We don't have a lot of props where I teach this class that I teach, so I have to improvise. Sometimes I take my bag of blocks with me. But you just want to get them into the idea of ease and softness. I would keep them here for maybe a minute. Keep in mind though, if you have people with high blood pressure or any reason they shouldn't have their head below their heart, you wouldn't want to take them this deep. You want to keep them more here. And then when you're here, you can do a little up and down with the neck. Breathing in, breathing out as the neck goes down. And as it comes up, and out as it goes down. And then again, hand come up. And then they really like to do a lot with the neck. So I've spent some time there, breathing in, reaching up tall through the crown of the head. Breathing out, just turn your head to the side. And then have them really connect this with the breath. Inhale to center, exhale to the other side. This is so important for being able to look around you without using your whole body, okay? So important. So have them go side to side. You're going to do this slower, obviously, than I'm doing it. And then back to center. And then have them draw a circle with their nose. So nose goes up and then around. And you can demonstrate. I demonstrate a lot more in senior classes than I do in other classes in a couple of ways. Mainly because most of them have never done yoga and they've never done anything where they're mindfully connecting their breath to their movement. So a lot of times I will end up almost demonstrating the entire class, which isn't what I normally do in a regular class. And then feet could come back together or stay there. So those for the neck are great. You can also do just the normal things that we would in yoga. Reaching that hand out to the side, take this hand, really encourage that shoulder down, and I have them go ahead and give themselves a little massage here on the shoulder. I get a lot of shoulder and neck requests. So that hand reaching intensifies that. Obviously you could take that out. And then we do the other side, inhaling to center, exhaling. And a lot of my seniors, they may just be here. This is their side bend of their neck. That's okay. Reach and then give that little massage. The knots on the shoulders tend to come right here. Breathing in and out here. And sometimes I take that dynamically side to side. But again, this is different from traditionally how I do Yin Yoga. But if you're doing Yin Yoga with seniors, this is a great way to get them started because getting them used to the idea of that mobility is good before you ask them to stay there for a bit. And then I do something to the side, so it can be as simple as hands on the hips and lean side to side. Sometimes I'll start with this and see what their range of motion is like. And then if it looks like everyone's okay, then I'll have them reach down and maybe bring that other arm up and over. I give them options like here, and maybe reaching. And most of them can't straighten their arm like this, but bending it's fine. So and then I tell them, we just want to get a stretch on the side body through all those intercostals. And then we do both sides. So I might stay there if everyone looks okay. I might stay there for maybe 10 rounds of breath, but I always offer bringing that arm down if it gets tired. And then do a little bit of a twist here. So with osteoporosis, osteopenia, you want to know what they've been released to do or not, and they will usually know that. They should know that. So twisting, the thing is, if they have joints that are, in that kind of, that have that kind of thing going on with it, you don't want to overdo it, but a little bit of tissue stimulation is good. You just don't want to go too far. So I would just avoid extreme twisting, which I pretty much avoid that in general with my seniors. So the first way to get them into a twist is just to have them sit up nice and tall. Take one hand to the outside of the opposite knee. And I say things like that a lot rather than right and left. It's just easier. And then the spine is up nice and tall. They want to stack their ribs over their hips. And then if that feels okay, let them know that the twist here is really thinking about rib cage and thoracic. So sometimes I'll have them take their fingers right to that and then breathe in and then breathe out and say, can you turn your ribs a little to the side? And that's where we start. And then the head can follow if it feels okay, if they have that range of motion. And that's really where we start with the twisting. And then I'll keep them here for maybe 10 rounds of breath. So this would be very beginner Yin Yoga. This would also be a great warm up just for any chair yoga or chair yoga or senior yoga class in general. And then always have them come back on an inhale. Then we take a full round of breath there. Do the same thing on the other side. So for some of them, this is their twist. So you really need to be thinking about and watching their bodies. I actually teach this in a circle so that I can see everyone. It's a little bit challenging with cueing, but for the most part, I let them choose which side they want to start on, unless there's some sort of cognitive things going on that I think they might have trouble remembering which side they did. Then I'll have everybody go the same way. But this is the same thing, the exhale, and then thing here. And we hold for maybe 10 rounds of breath. And then the next thing I usually move on to is some other sort of joint articulation in the shoulders. So big shoulder circles, and again, all good things for Yin Yoga, but a little different from how we would normally do Yin Yoga. You could do both sides. They really love this. They love to hear their snap, crackle, and pop and talk about it. So that is what I would do. What I'm looking for is gentle movement of the spine in all 6 directions. So forward and back, side, twist, side to side. So one thing we didn't do, now that I say that, is we didn't really do a back bend at all. More, I guess, forward extension would be the more appropriate way to say it. So you could have them come toward the edge of their seat. Remember, just be careful, you don't want them falling off. And then hands right to the pelvis, and then have them take their fingers, their 2 peace fingers here, tip the pelvis back, and then take the thumbs, tip the pelvis forward. So their range of motion may be more like this, but that's gonna get that seated cat-cow kind of thing. Speaking of cats, my kitty cat wants in the room. So moving the spine in all 6 directions. If they seem okay, find a place where you think they can stay there for a bit, like with the twist or the forward fold. Probably wouldn't hold a back bend. You could do something like camel, seated camel, but I might wait and do that in your next portion of class. So again, here we're just looking at the warm-up. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for asking for a short introduction of how I would start a Yin Yoga class, chair class for seniors. I'm Rena Wren. It's been great to see you. Hope I see you soon.